It's the Plan C podcast coming at you with another iteration of Skype Stoop Sessions, our lovely, lovely interview series where we talk to artists, leaders, and just other people on the pod, sort of, on the radar or off the radar. It's going great. It's a Sunday night. It'll probably be, I'll say, a Saturday when this does come out. I am joined by my lovely host, Cameron. How you doing today?
Yo, it is at Stolo here. I'm doing pretty good. I'm super hyped for this interview. We got our boy Kaya, aka Scrap Fiction. Today was a great call. We talked a lot about music and film, as well as school and the current time that we're in terms of progress and goals. I think it was a great pod. Time flew by. It was super fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hell yeah. So if you're not already, feel free to, follow us, subscribe to us, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever it is. All that goes so far and makes us feel good and makes it feel like that we're not just talking into the void. So if you haven't already, feel free to do that. We appreciate it so much. We had a really fun Among Us stream. It was last Friday. It got really hectic. We actually got like 4 new subs from it, up to 84 subscribers on YouTube. So shout out to everyone who has subscribed. We appreciate you. Make sure you are checking out our Instagram, our Twitter, get all the news there. And you know what? Join our Discord. You can find it on our front page of our YouTube channel. And Cameron, if you got nothing else, let's get into it. And we're back here with Kaya of Scrap Fiction, of friend of the Plan C podcast, great friend, great guy overall. Kaya, how are you doing today?
Wow, that was all too kind, honestly. I'm feeling
Should
great.
I have been meaner?
No, that was like, wow. All these accolades. I feel so, wow. Thank you, man. I feel really good today. As I was telling you guys before we start recording, just really, really feeling the weather right now. It's crazy just what some warmth and some sunshine can do to one's like mood and personality.
Facts.
Yeah, like I had work at 4 today and I was dreading that, like literally dreading it. But I just stepped outside. I'm like, oh damn, it's like a new day. It's a new year. Like you just forget what warmth feels like after a long ass winter. So that was like really, really refreshing and cool. And then I went to work, but I was only there for 4 hours. So that was
not so bad.
Yeah, but overall, I'm pretty good today.
I recently saw a tweet where it was like, yeah, you don't believe in seasonal depression disorder until it's over 60 degrees and it felt like you popped a Molly. And I was like, yeah, that's facts.
Yo, that's very true. That's very true. Like I was just outside looking at nature and the sun and everything. I'm like, wow, this is different. This is really, really different. Like when it was colder outside, I wasn't even thinking about like enjoyment, if that makes sense. Like I was just like, all right, it's not even worth going outside right now. Might as well just stay in the crib, just continue to work. But when I was outside, I was like, oh shit, it's like stuff is nice. So life is okay and everything.
That's a fact. So speaking of work, let's get into this pod, bro. So
yeah.
For the people that are listening, I met Kaya at SVA in Black Student Union, BSU, the family, the good people, always a good time. And SVA is a very interesting experience, and you'll probably hear, like as Julian was on the pod, everyone has their own take on the pros and cons, the goods and bad. But Kaya, when I first met you, you were a video major. I didn't know that you rapped and such. I was wondering, how did you first get into video?
Okay, cool. So I guess we can start at the beginning. I've always, in general, been the artsy type kid, and just whatever facet, I would still consider myself that because I just like learning new skills. So before video, I just would draw and paint and everything. That was like my main thing, but I never took it serious. Even like when I knew that I wanted to go to art school, I never knew exactly which kind of major specifically I wanted to join. I just like, all right, I like art. I'm just gonna do this forever, not with much like thought of it. But when I was 15, me and my dad saw the movie Dope, and it's
great
Oh
movie.
yeah.
literally like the beginning of the origin story, because this was one of the summers that I would spend out in LA with him, and I was like, yo, this movie looks really good, let's go see it. So we saw it, and it wasn't even like a lot of people in the theater. We were like maybe one of 5 parties, right? And it really inspired me and hit me a lot. Like I just related to the main character so heavily, just talking about like feeling like an outsider in his own area and his struggles. Just he made it seem really cool to be a nerd and accept that. Like I think that's what really like resonated with me, because I've always been into art and nerdy type stuff, but I was just into it on my own. But he was like, yeah, I'm a nerd, whatever. So I thought that was cool. So ever since then, I was really inspired and like was interested in film. And I got a GoPro for Christmas one year. And from there, I started just like taking like small little videos. And in high school, I was a part of like a little skateboarding group, whatever. So we would like skate and do graffiti around my area. So naturally,
That's
I would bring
dope.
the GoPro, and yeah, me and my 3 other friends, we would just be recording it. And then this was in the height around when YouTube was really, really popular. So like 2015 to 2018, YouTube was huge. It still is huge, but I feel like that was like the time when everybody wanted to hop on the train of being a YouTuber. Um,
Mm.
I hopped on the train, and instead of just doing like little skate videos and art videos, I started making like little documentaries and vlogs out of my day. I was still editing off of Windows Movie Maker and didn't know like anything at all about editing. But yeah, so I would be recording with my friends, and I was like, I do enjoy doing this. And when it came time to decide, like, all right, what do I want to do as far as college goes? Because I don't really want to go to a regular university. And now being a 21-year-old, I feel like I should have considered that a little bit more, but I guess we'll get into that. But I was like, I'm just going to go to art school. So what is going to be the art that I choose? And at that point, I was doing more film and video work than that. So put a little reel together, and yeah, and then I'm in school for that now.
Hell yeah. So
That's awesome, bro.
yeah, definitely. What attracts you most to the sort of visual medium of film?
Uh so much, really. Like I like it in many different forms. Like I love music videos. Like my love for music videos and my love for film is very similar but very different, because music videos are short format, right? So anything that you see within the 3 to sometimes 6 minutes, it's short. Like some are going to be more fast paced, and I also obviously love music. So visualizing certain songs and how one can be creative with it, I love like so much with music videos. And then with film, I would say it's just the story. Like
Hmm.
seeing a relatable story done well and being able to be immersed in it is really a cool experience. So like other than just like cinematography in a film, but like when they use sound, like that's something that I'm starting to learn more. Like the more senses that is involved in any type of art piece, it allows the viewer to really get inside of the artist's head more. So that's what I really like. I like seeing the creators and their vision and trying to just completely just engulf my brain into theirs. So yeah, that's what I like about film.
That
This is
was
dope,
an
man.
awesome answer.
Yeah, I was super in depth. We fucking love it, bro. That was
Yeah.
dope.
And I love your comment about sound design, just because I'm such a nerd for good sound design, because it's
Yeah,
one of those things that you don't notice unless it's awful.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fact.
And
Yeah,
and I think you're so spot on when saying the more senses you're involving, the more you're in the artist's head. Like I'd never thought about it that way, but that's so true.
yeah. I mean, just think about like what consciousness is, like what it feels like to just be in the moment. like what are the smells of the area? Like you think about a memory, right? Like a very vivid memory. What did it smell like? What did it sound like? What was around that you felt and everything like that? If you're able to be as detailed as possible, either with your descriptions or how you work it, it'll send the viewer into your memory. And that's, I feel like, what the overall goal of what at least I try to achieve with my art, or where I'm trying to head eventually, so people can just like really get me. But yeah, especially like what you said about bad sound, it's so noticeable because it easily can take something into like turn it from a mediocre piece to something really, really cool.
Yeah, on the topic of sound, for the people, you're a very talented musician. Your rap
yes.
like Supreme. We always be hitting it up on the Spotify.
West
You already know y'all
Supreme.
check it out. Check it out. But a lot of the people that I talk to in the film major, especially at SVA, they don't necessarily always talk about the specifics of like sound or have that type of proclivity that you do. And I was wondering, because I know that you're very into music, you're very into the hip hop culture and everything like that. How has that impacted how you've experienced film, and how has that impacted how you think your films will evolve from now?
Well, I would say that currently I'm working on learning how to produce, right? Because when I was really, really heavy into like when I first started rapping, even up to this point, what most people do in the beginning when they don't have any friends to help them, they go on YouTube and they look up type beats, right? So
Yeah.
Yes.
Supreme is a type beat from actually a rapper who just passed recently. I never even listened to his music, but this guy Six Dogs apparently that was the type beat for Supreme. And so yeah, that's where I like first start. Yeah, RIP. So right now currently I'm trying to learn how to produce, because for one, I just think would be a fun skill to know, but then I'm trying to use it to score my own projects essentially. So I got inspired from watching interviews with the director of Black Panther, Ryan Coogler, and how integral music was to that movie. And it, after watching it like so many times, I start to notice it more, because like throughout the entire film, it's really a mesh between like African sounds and trap beats, like literally like merging the present and the past together. And that's what the entire like movie is about, like about changing the tradition to fit a more modern sense and everything. So I thought that was dope. So I want to try to make my own atmosphere with beats and put them in whatever types of films that I'm doing. So I'm working on one project right now that hopefully should be out by around like April or May-ish for my second semester film for school. But then even to go further, right? Other two influences for myself are John Singleton and Spike Lee. And Spike Lee, I don't feel like he should need to be explained and everything. Great filmmaker, great director. Then John Singleton, same. And he is most known for directing Boys in the Hood. And but yeah, both of them, they very much used elements of hip hop in making their films. And it was integral to them, because like they were known as black filmmakers for making black films and everything. So to really accompany, like make that whole feel, they added a lot of hip hop elements, a lot of scratchy like DJ type stuff, like just in their playlist, it was all like rap and hip hop, R&B type stuff, so people could really relate to it. So I want to take that same type of format and put like music video elements, interesting type beats in my videos to almost be like a new generation of like the John Singletons and Spike Lees, but try to do it my own way.
Didn't he do a couple of episodes of Snowfall before he passed?
Yeah, he created the show. He
there
like,
you go.
Yeah, so he created the show, and I've been watching it and loving it. Like, damn, he's had such a cool, prolific career, because he did Juice. I don't know if you guys have seen the Michael Jackson music video for like Do You Remember the Time? You know what I'm talking about?
I know the song. I haven't seen the music video.
Where like Michael's in Egypt and everything. Yeah, John Singleton did that one as well. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's had a really cool career. So I look at people like that who are able to do multiple things like that and succeed in it.
He did didn't he do Poetic Justice as well with Tupac?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, look at all that talent, bro.
Yeah, for real.
So, just talking about, inspirations and, things that you specifically drawn. Do you notice any parallels between, say you and Spike Lee in terms of like, oh, Spike specifically does this and you sort of adopted that? Or is it sort of just like, I want to be similar to them?
I feel like the most similar. All right, this is a good question because I feel like any literal like black director is always going to be like somehow influence or come back to Spike Lee in some sense because he was really like the first to do it. And for me, I really appreciate his color palette a lot. I love lively colors, especially seeing him like Do the Right Thing. That film has so much character, literally from the side characters to the colors, the streets, like there's character all around. So I try to be I'm trying to get to a detailed point like that where the location is a character, like it's like literally like trying to have the location as a character. And what else? I just admire how much he was down for experimenting because his work, it was very unorthodox for what was seen as like art films and everything. All legends were innovators in their own right, but his style was almost like juvenile, I guess, like in his editing style and his use of just handheld camera work for a lot of scenes. It was like, what is this? Like, why do you not have this on a tripod or a dolly? And why is this edited so weird and everything? But that grew to become like his signature style and people really liked it. So I'm like in my own way trying to break different barriers like that and just experiment more, just have fun and play with it really. Because having fun with what you do is very much important. And a lesson that I just kind of relearned for myself recently because like I said, during the winter, I did not even focus on fun at all. I was just very, very fixated on what I can do for whatever type of opportunity. But even in your own work or just whatever that you do, learn to like find enjoyment with it because it keeps you excited to do more.
That's some great advice, man. I still struggle with it, and I definitely struggled with it, like especially in like the later years of college, like junior, senior year. It was definitely something I had to figure out for myself. But
yeah,
as
like when your art has to be like your main source of income, it's gonna eventually start feeling like a job. And most people don't like their job and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
so
man.
you gotta. Yeah.
You gotta find the balance for sure.
We talked about that with our previous podcast, Skype Stoop sessions, which is what we call our interview series, with our friend Anthony Obas, and just sort of figuring out like, okay, I've got commissions, but am I really happy doing what I'm doing right now? And like, yeah, that coin is real nice and necessary, but at what cost?
Right. It's true. Like you're gonna get so involved in commissions, but it's important to always have your own projects and don't take it too seriously. Cause like at a certain point in your artistic journey, you just made because you enjoyed it, and that's what your pastime was. You didn't think about, all right, so I need to have this composition to look like this so this client can like it or whatever. It was just play, and that can be applied to like literally like any job or occupation that you have or whatever career that you want to do. When the pressure of life comes around, like, all right, I need to do this properly so I can make money to survive, that thing that you loved once becomes like an obligation. But I don't know. I don't really have a straightforward answer on how to fix that, but just you got to find some way to find enjoyment in the mundane or have the reminders. Yeah.
It's definitely a process. I've definitely found sometimes when I'm doing commissions, you can sometimes like kind of lose who you are in those moments, even when you're creating art because it's for someone else and it's not necessarily your vision. And in that same vein, I have a a question I want to ask you for a while, but I never kind of got around to it.
Ooh,
And
let's go.
you know, like I feel like all artists, like even when we first start doing art, and even up until kind of late into our development, we're more just taking from our experiences, and we're also just taking from our influences and kind of replicating it in a way that we think is beautiful, but we don't necessarily have the personal element, and it doesn't necessarily become something that is like a real reflection of our identity until a specific moment. And I was wondering, is there a specific moment where you found that your art really became a personal reflection of who you are, or like a real vision of like what you're trying to say?
Wow, damn, that's a great question. I'm not sure if I've reached that point yet. I think the closest, honestly, that I felt like, oh yeah, this really represents me, was like the short little freestyle that I did for Fall or Fallen or something like that. It's been a minute since I put it out there, but I like went in on the editing and the overall feel of it. It just felt really autumn and like not too polished. So I think like what really like fits my description right now is just organic and true to self. So yeah, that little freestyle that I shot for Fall, it really did feel like I was starting to get an understanding of who I want to present myself to be and all of that. But it's tricky because like unfortunately like me, I do a lot of start stop type of art where I work on
Mm,
projects and I don't always release them. But then it's like the question of if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? I feel like
yeah.
Mm.
unfortunately that applies a lot to artists and everything because if you don't have your work out on Instagram, if you don't have it out there for people to see, then have you proven yourself of who you want to be? So that also goes inside like what we were talking about before, just making art for yourself. So I'm slowly like I think I'm taking my time right now because I felt a lot of pressure over the summer, coming into the winter, just because of like, well, for one, just the state of the world, and I guess just comparison a lot can be very dangerous.
Oh
I
my God, yes.
Yeah, like I mean, I just turned 21, and I've already felt pressure to be further than where I'm at right now, just because of what I've seen other people do. But I just been listening to more music, watching a lot more films, and I'm just like, damn, I still have a lot to learn. But I know that I'm on the right track because I'm still making the right connections with people who I need to make, and I'm studying and I'm staying consistent. So I feel like the pressure starts to alleviate once you really start to get a schedule, like a routine going for yourself, and just be confident. Like I feel a lot more confident than I did back then. Um, I'm not sure why, but I just started believing in myself a little bit more. Um, but yeah, I don't feel too much pressure at the moment, but just know that in these next couple months there is gonna be some cool stuff coming out. As far as like music video stuff goes, not for myself yet, unfortunately, but like I've been working with a lot of different artists, and I'm really excited to like show the different types of music video work that's gonna be coming out soon.
That's really
Hyper,
awesome.
bro.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And just in that same vein, as a creative, you really have to be sort of your own boss. And what are some specific things that you've learned? And maybe what's some advice to emerging artists, whether it's in production or business aspects? What do you got?
Some advice, like you said, like for like routines and everything and staying consistent.
Well, just whatever you got.
Okay. So I've been learning a lot, like so much, and it's so crazy. Like I've learned so much more since the age of the Rona than I did prior to it, because like that pressure of just going without any self-reflection was keeping me boxed in a little bit because I wasn't taking any consideration from advice of others. I wasn't taking time to learn and study. I just like, all right, I have this idea and I have to accomplish it. But it's good to like never get into that habit because we're conditioned to think that if working hard equals working all the time, and that's not true at all. You got to have time for work, and time for reflection, time for enjoyment as well, and self-care, because all of that equals good work once you get like back into it. So take some time. I would say like journal, really assess where you're at mentally and everything. Make sure that you're good. For me, like many things, I very much have the struggle with staying consistent for like stuff that doesn't have to do with work or art. So like I've been on a workout and health journey this past couple of months, trying to get my diet right and lose some weight, get more fit. And I've literally like been trying to do that for years now. And I ain't got nothing but time right now, pretty much just in the crib. So I pretty much put sticky notes all over my room and bought a whiteboard. So like literal stuff like that, just putting those reminders around you. I don't know. You could choose to ignore them, because I definitely did for the first couple of weeks after I had the sticky notes on there. But at that point, I realized, like, you know what? I'm being my own enemy in this situation. Like, I want to get fit. I want to take those summer photos. So I'm the only one getting in the way of that. So have your reminders and have your schedules, I would say. And just know that everybody is on their own individual journey. So you can see your friends or people around you get to places where you want to be before you. But just know that, like what I said before, if you work hard for what you want is already yours. You just have a couple of different steps and trials in between that time until you get there.
For sure, man. For sure. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I very much relate to that health thing, because for about a month or two now, I've been trying to eat better. And last Friday, I did not. And I kind of doubled down. I had 2 meals back to back that were fried. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, do I have COVID? What the fuck?
Bro, isn't it crazy? Like, we're getting to the age where we can't eat whatever we want anymore. And we're still young. Like, and we're still young, but we can't everything that we wanted to, like, before.
It's nuts, bro. Like, I used to be eating bagels like nonstop. I remember like growing up, like a bagel for lunch was like the thing. And now like I had a bagel the other day, it put me on my ass, bro.
I'll put you right to sleep.
Flattening me out. Freaking crazy. I'm halfway through the bagel and I'm nodding off. I feel like I'm 80 already. It's fucking nuts.
Bro, I can't even finish like most meals anymore. Like it's really weird. Like I get full so much more quicker. I used to, bro, I'm a big foodie. I'm a really big foodie. And I could down big old plates. But like now I'm getting to the point where I'm cool just eating twice a day. And I mean, health and diet will be different for each individual. But I never used to, like, I used to eat like 3 meals a day plus and everything. But it's cool. I wanted to tell you guys a story now that like I'm on like the thought of it, right?
Yeah, man, go.
Okay, so a part of my self journey and discovery these past couple of months, right? I just started smoking weed consistently for the first time in my life this summer. Like ever. And all of my past experiences have just been social, and I've never like purchased it. It's never been a part of my life until this past summer, right? And crazy. It's so crazy because I feel like I've really been missing out. I've had ideas and concepts about life and everything, whatever. But now I feel like I'm starting to quote unquote get it. Like really happen into the universe and like really get like all of the high type talk that people talk about, feeling vibrations and whatever. Like for one, listening to music high, crazy.
So facts.
Literally my favorite pastime. Like I spent 3 hours just like listening to music last night, and I didn't even intend on it. I just wanted to listen to one album, and then I just ended up listening to 5 albums, and it was great. I had a really great time. So yeah, I started doing that more consistently, and I got a better understanding of who I am. Definitely helps alleviate the pressure for life, and I feel like it's a cheat code for artists in a way, or just any creatives, because you're really able to evaluate stuff at such a deeper level. But at the same time, this being new to me, I'll be having the munchies all the damn time. Like I want to, like, man, and like in the day I'll be working out, whatever, but then at night I would just, you gotta, like, weed is an interesting type of thing because I know people who purely use it recreationally, and it's one of the best recreational sources out there in the world. But it's also a great tool. But I was just purely like just getting high and eating, like, I don't know why, but like once I would like first started smoking, like my stomach was just endless. So yeah, that did not help my health journey. But I don't know what clip or changed in it, but I just my diet started changing. I would smoke, eat like just a little bit. Like you got to find something that'll satisfy the munchies, but not like make you feel like you're about to throw up and have a food coma. So yeah, that's been really integral to my growth as a person as well this past couple of months. Yeah, just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, no, that's actually really interesting because for the month of March, I decided that I wasn't going to smoke weed and I was just going to stay 100% sober. So it's interesting hearing your side of it being on the opposite side, because if I'm being honest, I had been smoking pot regularly since I was a sophomore in high school. Like, if it wasn't every day, it was close. I was damn near close to it. And this month off has like really shown me that not only are things different when you're clear, but there's a lot of things that are also the same. Like I still find myself like forgetting things. Otherwise, when I'd be high, I'd be like, oh, you forgot that because you're high. And it's just like, no, I just forgot that because I'm an airhead, I guess.
Yeah. Something like that. I completely get that, bro. And like what's funny too, like so stupid, most of the times that I did smoke before I started doing consistently, I was doing it wrong as well. If that makes sense. Like I wasn't fully inhaling because like I just had baby lungs and shit. So I'll just be taking small hits and I would watch my friends get high and I would feel a little something, but I'm like, damn, this ain't all that. But once I really started to learn how to do it properly, I'm like, damn, I've really been missing out. Like I went most of my life not enjoying this and really like being a part of it. Because I'm a really, really big overthinker, like huge thinker, like just with everything in life. And weed really does help me organize my thoughts. Like it's not like I stop overthinking, but what I start thinking about makes more sense, I guess. I don't know. It's weird to describe exactly how your thought process works when high, but I definitely see myself maturing in a way. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. But
I definitely feel you. Like
yeah.
like for me especially, like I'm also like I'm a huge overthinker. Like I get decision paralysis all the time. And weed definitely does, like it helps the stream of consciousness just flow better. Like sometimes like it's almost like you're getting in the way of your own stream of consciousness because you're second thinking things that you've already thought. But like weed really just like streamlines out the process. And I've definitely like had my own personal like journey of like how much to smoke versus like how frequently. And like because I feel like if I smoke too frequently, like it makes me too okay with going with the flow. And like sometimes I need to like I need to have like control, and I need to, so it's like it's always like a balance of like when do I need control or when can I just like chill and relax. So it's definitely a journey.
Yeah, exactly. I just be getting lazy. Like just like
Exactly.
Yeah. You're like,
That's
oh
what it
damn,
is.
this is so comfortable.
yeah, it's not, there's nothing more comfortable, I swear.
Yeah.
So you gotta find your balance. Like my brother just talked about, like, it is a recreational type of thing, but you're in control of your brain even when you're high. So it's just like retraining your brain to use the highness to your benefit. Like really go in depth to what you're trying to create and like just approach it from a different angle, really.
Yeah, it's definitely like a good way to shift your perspective. But on the angle of things of like definitely like crafting like a goal even when you're high, I was is there anything that you kind of want to accomplish in the next year or so? Because I feel like we've had so much time like in the last year to really think about what we want to do. Like I found that like especially when it comes to business wise and art, this was like the time where, you know, you really had to hunker down and kind of, even though it was kind of a detriment to a lot of our mental health, like hunker down and really think about what where we're going. And I was wondering if you had
Yeah,
any ideas in terms of what you want to accomplish.
yeah, for sure. I definitely have a couple different goals, and in a way, I don't know like how if this is great advice or not, but I started thinking a little bit smaller because I don't know, I don't think a day goes by where I don't think about the future and like where I want to be like in 10 years from now. But so like I don't know if you guys have seen it, right? But the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, have you guys seen that?
I
I
have
have
not yet.
not seen it yet.
Oh my god, yo, I really could not recommend it enough. I honestly, I don't know why, but I didn't really have the highest hopes for it. I was like, all right, it's gonna be another cool educational movie. Stylistically though, and like acting wise, I thought it was just brilliant, man. Like it was really, really good. And I was watching every time that I watch a film that I really enjoy, I start watching interviews with the directors, right? And this one dude, Shaka King, right? He this was like pretty much his debut film. He's like done a couple of shorts other than that. But yo, by the way, he went to high school in Bay Ridge, I believe. Yeah, he went to high school in Bay Ridge.
Oh snap!
Yeah, yeah. So he's dope. And I think he just turned 32, 33 or whatever. So my end goal in creativity is to direct film. I don't think I love anything more than like directing a well-crafted story because like just for 2 hours at a time one can just like not think about their reality and just have their perspective shifted and really gain a new understanding of stuff and just live vicariously through people from a different era, through a different country. It's really magical to me, so that's where I want to end up being. But for this next year, I think because since I'm about to graduate, I have a couple different plans. And for one, I want to try to enter into a film festival, hopefully win a award, because that's really how you start gaining notoriety as a filmmaker, is by having those type of accolades, or just go viral like anything else in this world. Because one example of that, there's this one guy where I can't think of his name at the moment, but hopefully it'll come to me as I talk about it. But he made this concept for a trailer for a reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? And I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but it was really, really cool. So in this reboot, it was like a modern day era, and it just looked awesome. And this came out about like 2 years from now, right? And now I've seen a video where Will Smith is talking to this guy, and this same guy is gonna now work on an actual reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air coming to Peacock, I believe. One of those, I think that's the service where it's gonna be on.
Another
And
one of those
Crazy.
paywalls.
no, it's free. It's actually like how
Oh, there we
it's how
go.
Hulu. Yeah, yeah. So it's like OG Hulu pretty much. Um, but yeah, like he literally just made this as a concept trailer. It gained all this attention, and now he's like working on it. And Will Smith pretty much like okayed it. I think that's so cool. But yeah, I want to hopefully enter to a film festival. I like have 2 film ideas that I'm trying to work on. And then other than that, just really have fun with the music videos, because I'm working with a bunch of different artists. And on it, like where the comparison comes from for me, right? There's a lot of people in my school in the film program who also shoot music videos. And a lot of them are on really big high production sets, like working with really big names and everything. And like automatically I'm like, damn, why have I not reached that point yet? Like, why am I not working with these big artists and everything? But all of that really isn't important. Like working with big artists, eventually you're going to get to that point, because I'm working with a couple of people who want me to be their main videographers for whatever that they do. So that's already consistency. And yeah, and like the people who I'm like doing it with, they're actually like really talented. So it excites me to be a part of their journeys. And like as they blow up, I blow up, because I want all of my videos to be very distinct, so they know like, oh, this person's with this videographer, like it's one and the same. So, and then as far as music goes, right? So I knew that we were going to probably talk about music at some point on this, because in March, whatever, today's the 14th, March 14th right now, I only have one song on Spotify, and
Great song though.
thank you. I really appreciate it. This was purely a product out of summertime boredom, literally. But before Supreme, I was into rap like in high school, and I have like one mixtape on SoundCloud and a couple of other singles and everything. But literally, like, yeah, it was just a thing of just finding it fun to do and seeing if I could do it well. And eventually I learned that I can flow properly. I can think of certain words and whatnot. So I found the beat for Supreme like in high school, and I just saved it in a playlist of other type beats that I liked. And this one I was like, okay, it's cool. It's short. I can flow well on this. So I recorded the song on my phone, and I shot most of the music video as well on my phone. But I edited it on my computer. And yeah, I got a lot of attention from it. Like, I don't know how many streams is on it on Spotify, but last time I checked, it just got like over 1,000. And I still have friends who just hit me up and be like, yo, I listen to this regularly. That whole idea is so crazy, because I just wanted to do this to see if I could do it pretty much. And yeah, so but like with the music going further in the future, I think I'm gonna still release solo music, but it's not going to be as like frequent or consistent, because like after really studying different artists that I love, there's a lot of like songwriting abilities that I need to learn to get better at, because if I'm going to do something, I want to be great at it, you know? But in the meantime, I have a friend, and we're going to start a little group together, me and my friend Jaleel. So he produces and plays bass and lead guitar, and I'm also learning how to produce, and we're gonna have a little vibey duo. And so that's gonna be like my main focus for music for the time being, until like I really want to get back out there with the solo stuff.
So, you talked about your music. What effect do you find that your major / your video, your love of video has impacted your art or your rapping?
My major, honestly, like, not too much. Not too much, because like the film school is very, very interesting. What I said earlier about like at least wanting to consider going to a regular university, I feel a lot, because like I don't know, I never thought of anything else besides art. But throughout these like years of being in college, I discovered that I do like other stuff that isn't art related. Like I like psychology. I like what is it? Environmentalism. And yeah, I like just other stuff. I like culinary. So all of these things could have been stuff that I could have done while minoring in like video production or whatever. But it's interesting because like coming into SVA freshman year, I didn't watch every single movie under the sun. Like I had my favorites, and I like music videos. So I didn't really have any high expectations. So coming into it, I didn't realize that there was going to be people who went to art high schools. Like I was like, damn, yeah, I didn't know that was like a thing.
Yeah, you're gonna be matched up with them LaGuardia kids.
Yeah, exactly, the damn LaGuardia kids, and like people, and the people who got like film accolades already in high school, who've watched all the 1940 French New Wave shit. I'm like, yo, what teenager is exposed to this? I have no idea who wants to watch it. So it's a lot of like arrogance, unfortunately, like in the film program at SVA, because everybody just wants to be the next Tarantino or whatever. But with that, it's not just all negatives. I think that it's made me think seriously about writing, I would say. Those have been my favorite classes so far to take at SVA. Just really trying to, even so, like some workshops that I would do for a class when writing about a character would be answering like 50 questions about them. Even when these questions don't make it into the film, it's just good to know your character, because you know what they would and what they wouldn't do based on their personality. So yeah, it's fun to construct a character and to work with that. But yeah, my major is full of a lot of arrogance, unfortunately, and that's just not me at all. But yeah, it made me really think about
What?
writing.
Kaya humble? What?
It's couldn't if I try. Couldn't if I try.
Yeah, but I definitely feel you. Like, especially on like, SVA, the arrogance is just in the air. It smells like shit, bruh. Like it's fucking everywhere, and it's definitely something that I just like. I just like abhorred. Like in terms of just like everyone thinks they're right. Everyone thinks they're the answer. Like they got like Jesus in their balls or something like that. Like mad people, like for no reason. Like you don't have the answer. You didn't write the Bible. Sit down. But at the same time, I think it is cool that because you do your own music and you also have been part of productions. One of the things that I think you have an experience with that not a lot of people get to do is that you have experience being part of a larger production, and also you have experience like starting your own projects and being your own lead and having them come to completion. Like especially when I saw in the Here We Are show, with you had your piece was crazy. I love that. It was super interactive and like a very unique part, like piece of fine art. And I was wondering, like, especially in terms of your process, have you learned anything from being part of a larger process versus doing something entirely on your own?
Oh yeah, it's collaboration isn't always easy at all. Especially like when you're on a set. So like I said before, I didn't have much high expectations coming into SVA, and I really didn't feel like I knew what I wanted to do exactly, probably until this year. Yeah, this year I feel like I really figured stuff out. At least I think so, because stuff changes all the time. But freshman year, I would be on a lot of different sets. So it would mainly be for seniors shooting their thesis films or whatever. But I would be like a PA, like a production assistant, and like literally doing anything from helping the set designer move stuff from one place to sometimes operating the boom mic or just holding something. There's always something to be held, and there's those people at the bottom of the totem pole who have to hold it. So I would be doing, yeah, exactly, all that type of stuff. So and you get to really see the worst sides of a director, an actor, and it's interesting, especially when you're not like when it's not your responsibility, because being a PA on somebody's thesis film, you just see their stress because you have a whole entire set, you have a whole bunch of actors, and the director is responsible for all of that. That's not easy at all. And I've only had one film shoot where it was like that for me, where I was directing and I had a small little crew and small actors, but it was not easy because there's a lot of communication that has to be done and self-control, because frustrations can get high and everything, but you don't want to be an asshole to people because they won't want to work with you again. Everything is about maintaining good relationships with people. But so many people just like, it's the film industry, you got to deal with it because that's just how the director's going to be for this one time. But, self-control is also an option as well. But yeah, like there's always going to be something that goes awry during a shoot. Something like it can be the smallest thing to like like a SD card being full and there's not a backup SD card. Oh my God. But there's always got to be something to be solved. So no matter how chaotic a set or a shoot can get, it's always interesting to see where solutions come from, because there's always has to be something whenever those situations come. So even like people who don't have too much compatible personalities, they got to work together to get this one thing solved.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man, that's so true, and I think that's such a nice little allegory for like just life in general.
I didn't even think about it like that. That's true.
And it's just like once you think you got it all figured out, it's like nope.
Yeah.
And they're just the ability to like a lot of time I feel like a lot of artists like really get in their own head a lot of the time, and like when you're working on your art, it is really something that's coming just from your head. But like art is such a actually just collaborative effort in general. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't have the people that are going to produce your work or post your work or give you a platform, you know, and sometimes you just got to know that one person who gives you an opportunity that you didn't think that you would be interested in, and all of a sudden that's your thing. You know what I mean? It's like art is such like a collaborative experience, and I that's why I love it, in my opinion. I think it's really amazing.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. It's just like one of my favorite forms of artistic collaboration is seeing bands perform. Especially like I love jazz. Like I learned to love jazz like my sophomore year of college as well. So seeing a bunch of people like playing instruments, harmonizing, honestly, like there's no better form of collaboration than that, because to me it's really an extension of the human mind, like for real, because every part of the band plays an integral role and they're all unique, but when you hear it, it's unison. So to be able to have a whole like five to like or like a symphony and all of them be in sync like that, it just amazes me.
Sure. Go ahead.
That's something I notice when I'm high. You'd be like, yo, these cymbals, bro, like I didn't hear these before. Like, okay. And then for every single time you listen to that song, it's like you sort of appreciate those cymbals more.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, you know, that guy with the triangle in the back is hitting it, bro. Hitting it.
No, it's so true, and I think that sort of helps develop the appreciation further, because it's like, wait, you know, this isn't even one of the main sounds, but it's in there and it works.
Yeah, it definitely helps you like deconstruct it and like really come to like a greater appreciation of it. And also, I'm a lover of jazz, and I think live jazz is amazing. And on that, yo, Kyle, we got to definitely hit up some jazz clubs when it opens up.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, I mean, no invite?
Oh,
You know I
I'm
fuck
saying
with jazz too. Come on now. I be on WBGO.
You already know you part of the crew.
Yeah, we out, yo. But because I haven't even seen one like really live before. Like I want to go to a jazz club. All of my like experience with it has just been like through videos and everything. But yeah, to see it like out front like that, that'd be awesome. I think
it's something different, bro.
The high moment that for music, at least for me, or like I noticed a instrument that it just became addictive. Do you guys know the song John Muir by Schoolboy Q by chance?
I actually
Not
don't.
by name.
Okay. It's like one of his songs off of the Blank Face LP, like his his second to most recent album. You just gotta listen to it, because there's like, I don't even know what instrument this is, but I was listening to it, and just from this one instrument, it created such a mood for the entire song. Because I mean, song wise, it's really braggadocious and it's really like kind of nasty, but the one instrument contributed to that whole tone. It just felt like he was like a snake slithering through like something, and like he was trying to intimidate whoever. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, every instrument to a part is integral.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I wrote it down. I'm gonna check that out after this.
Yeah, Cameron, you're gonna have to swing that name as well.
Oh, for sure.
We can listen to it on the speakers after the pod if you want.
The facts. I gotta eat dinner and stuff first, but definitely. Question. Back on this topic of school, I was wondering, what is your favorite moment at SVA that you've had?
Favorite moments. Damn, I gotta think about this, because honestly, it feels like so long since I've been at SVA.
It's been a year.
Literally, like it's been an entire year since I've been. That is so crazy just to even think about.
If you need a little bit of time to think, that's fine. I can clean it all up, make you sound like you had it ready right in the chamber.
Oh no, it's okay. I can bullshit something.
I might keep this in just because I love that answer.
Yeah. Honestly, like I would say my favorite times was just like really freshman year. Freshman year was really cool because everything was so new to me. And like, well, all of my mom's side of the family, she's from the Bronx, right? So like I like New York was always a part of my childhood growing up and everything because we would always be there consistently. But living there is like living there and visiting is very two different things. So being an 18-year-old first time like living in New York by myself, no supervision, because granted, I came from a very sheltered household. So pretty much like with unlimited access to like being able to go anywhere, like the idea of subways and how cheap they were, like for like one ride, it blew my mind. Like you can go miles within the city and it was like only 275. That was crazy to me. So just learning that and like exploring has always like that was something I really found fun. Finding new restaurants that I liked and everything, going to parties, just doing stuff that I knew would scare the shit out of my mom. I I loved like, oh my god, why are you at this party? Like what you're drinking with like these like people and everything. So like all that type of stuff, just feeling like I was being rebellious and only I knew that I was. That was really, really cool to me. And of course, just like the BSU is very important to me at SVA because that's really where I met most of my like best friends from. Like literally, like most of my best friends from SVA are that all met at BSU because it's just like we came together because we all had a similar yet unique experience coming from a not so like diverse school. And it's not like everybody in BSU is the same, but we all like get it. We all get it in a certain type of way, and it's just always good times because like I feel what mostly it is, since a lot of us are like the only black students in a lot of our classes and there's not always too much talking or conversation going on in each class. You just have to be you just naturally have to be more reserved. But with BSU and everything, it's like you can really just come out and fully be yourself unapologetically, and it's a lot of fun. I truly miss it a lot. Because I haven't had any consistent just like friend group interactions in a minute and everything. Yeah, and I mean, and speaking of friend groups and shit like that, I really enjoy whenever like we get to hang out a lot because I don't really have a friend group here in Maryland where I live at. Like I have like 5 friends or so, and I see maybe one every 2 weeks or something. Like I really don't even like be hanging out with people like that. So whenever I came, I feel like I think September or something like that. I was like, damn, yeah, these are my peoples. So wasn't too relevant. I just thought I'd tell you guys that because you guys are cool.
Nah,
I appreciate that,
thank
man.
you, bro. Yo, it was always great when you pulled up, especially like when you get back to New York. You already know you're gonna have a ball.
Oh
You
It's
already
gonna
yeah,
know.
be
I
great.
I get my second vaccine on Wednesday. So after that
Hey,
happens, and my mother is going to be vaccinated by Saturday, fully vaccinated by Saturday. So the house will
hey,
be open again.
we going up. We going up for sure.
We gotta get out of here somewhat soon. But before we go,
Mm-hmm.
obviously with COVID, you mentioned that specifically this winter, things weren't very fun, and it felt much more just work more so than like passion. What are other things you noticed in terms of your art and just your sort of work as they relate to COVID?
Um, funny that you say that because I wanted to make a mixtape in the beginning of this time, like around I would say like June last year or so, and I was gonna call it the Quarantape. Like,
Ooh, that's
That's
hard.
fire.
oh, I know, missed opportunity, super big missed
Yo,
opportunity.
don't tell nobody. Just keep the name. Make it later. Nobody will care.
I exactly, and I even had Julian draw like a cover for it. Like this is like a legit
Ooh.
thing. I got lazy. So like I'm trying to think like relating to like COVID and quarantine, I almost try not to like talk about it at all in the art that I do in a way because like I don't know, it is what it is. It's our reality. But I think like with any artist, whatever that they present, it's gonna be their view of what reality is. In my view, and I would like COVID to not be a part of life right now, and I would like stuff to go back to normal. So I don't think I've really ever written a story that has involved current days. And honestly, whenever I watch a TV show like now and see characters with masks on, it's really trippy to me. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like most shows like on like broadcast TV, like NBC, ABC, like those types of shows, it's all like set in like 2021, and it's really weird to me. Like I don't. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm the other way actually. I watch like old, not older, but like when watching older shows, I'm like, you're too close. Your faces are too close. Just
No,
because.
I felt the same way. I felt the same way because we've had to retrain our brain.
Exactly. And I'm like, they're too close. They're too close. And I'm like, wait, Colin, coronavirus wasn't a thing 5 years ago. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how drastic the changes like happened across media, like in terms of like the things that we consume and like the things that we have to experience on the daily. Like I just feel like it kind of like it's like COVID's like this fucking shadow, just like this brawn level fucking shadow, just fucking looking down on us and shit. Like, don't dunk on me, please.
Bro, that's so true.
we have a friend who is in advertising, and probably around the summer, she was like, okay, guys, if you notice, ads are going to look different. If it's a family, there's not going to be masks, right, in the advertisement. And if it's not a family and they're not outside, they're going to be 6 feet apart. And just little details like that. And then you go, whether you're watching basketball or something, and you watch it and you're like, oh my God, some real shit.
Right.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, I completely get all of that. And I just was thinking too, because like I'm trying to think about what like current shows that I watch right now that I've seen it. I don't watch too many like shows that air like weekly. But if you do ever get the chance, I really like the show called This Is Us. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not, but it's an NBC show. And I honestly,
my sisters love This Is Us.
I fucking love that show, bro. Like genuinely, it's just like, and I didn't think I would because it just seemed like another like I don't know, a mom show, I guess in the best way to put it. Oh yeah, I'm liking this, but it's genuinely a really cool show, and it's cool how like they bounce back and forth between like the past and present and how it like ties in and everything. But yeah, they have the masks and everything on that show, and I was just thinking like, man, would it be irresponsible for like TV shows to just like pretend that their shows are in an alternate universe where this never happened and everything? Like, do you think it would be irresponsible of them? Like, do you think that they like have to have masks on even if this is a fiction show?
That's a great question.
I definitely have thought about that because like sometimes people think that like art is supposed to be like a reflection of reality in terms of like it's supposed to be accurate, and that's what lets you kind of like involve yourself in the story. But also I feel like art is sometimes an expression of like what we want the world to be, or like kind of like an escape from reality. So it's definitely like a hard balance, It's like sometimes you see that and you're like, I really did not want to see that. Like I did not want to see this person in a mask trying to tell me something and I can't see your lips move. I don't know what emotion you're trying to give me right now. Versus like sometimes I'm like, yo, why is he breathing up on this person? Like he needs to chill. Like he gonna drop any second now. What are you doing? It's like it's hard. It's definitely it's hard to say what's the right move.
Yeah. It's gonna be jarring to me, especially like when watching it like in the future, like old episodes of stuff where people had these masks on. It's gonna be like it's gonna be cringy almost, like
yeah. It's definitely gonna age in a way where it's like yeah, that horrible time, right?
Yeah,
for sure. But also I feel like a lot of people that are like younger than us are just not gonna understand it, and I feel like we're gonna have to deal with that. Like at all, it's gonna be interesting. But kind of as we're go ahead.
Yeah, gonna have to explain that to people. Like imagine like I don't know, because it's mainly like a TV shows and like live stuff, but like people who weren't like old enough to understand or alive looking at like from 2021, this is what all the shows look like. It's probably gonna be really weird to people.
I mean, if
for sure.
If we have kids, they're gonna be like, all right, Daddy, what did you do during COVID? I have to write an essay about it. Yo. Like, Smoked a lot of pot and recorded a
Yeah.
lot of podcasts.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but kind of flipping this towards the end because I feel like COVID kind of is always like a punch to the nuts whenever whenever you got to talk about it. It's just kind of like a little twinge. But
Yeah.
what are the things that inspire you the most right now, and what have you made that you are most proud of? That's the question I want to ask.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Wait, can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Well, what inspires you the most right now?
I think what inspires me the most is like, honestly, I don't think that one should really look or seek self validation from others, but it's like people around me are really starting to believe in me and everything. So that's really, really encouraging. But like I do believe in myself, but like to have friends and family like always, like to me what I do right now is normal, but when people talk highly of what I do, it's always kind of bizarre to me because I'm just like, oh, I'm just like having fun with it right now. But when they say like, oh yeah, I can see you 10 years from now in the future, that right now like is really, really inspirational because I'm like, man, if they think this highly of me and I just like become a fuck up, damn. I'm like, man, I'm so sorry that you invested into my future. But no, I do have like that self-confidence, and yeah, so like just that has been really inspirational to me. um I'm trying to think. I always try to find new music to listen to, especially like new sounds that I like that I don't usually listen to. It's always cool because it's just like, oh, this is a new thing that I like. This is a new perspective. And my favorite thing, and you said, like, what's something that I've made recently that's like been my favorite thing?
Yeah, like what have you made that like you're most proud of?
Okay, I think right now my most proud projects have got to be the damn, this is my own thing, but I can't remember this. Flight of Passage, what I presented at the Here We Are show. That's always gonna have a really special place in my heart because I've never made anything like it before. It's video art, it's very personal and everything. I think what I'm going to make soon is going to be my favorite thing that I make, and this is that second semester film that I want to try to put in film festivals. Because I haven't really honed in on making a narrative in a minute. Like I just watch a lot of stories. I have a lot of concepts. When it comes to a catalog, like I said, or a portfolio, it's not too extensive because it's like a lot of start stop stuff. So I'm like working right now to create a really great visually appealing short film, and I think that everyone's gonna love it. The title of it is called Plug Out, and that's what I'm gonna leave it at.
Looking forward to it, man.
That's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
So something we like to do, sort of our last question for you. Well, it's not really a question, but we like to have people come on when we interview them and give a statement of intent. You know, whether it's specific or very broad, just something that you want to materialize in the future. Whether it's like a specific project or you just be like, yo, I just want to get it done, shit like that.
Yeah.
Why don't you give a statement of intent?
And it's on the pod, so people will hold you to it, and we will
Exactly.
Hold you to it.
Honestly, a statement of intent for me, I would love to one day, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of broad, but I really want to I want to go to a bunch of different countries and just continue to expand my perspective of the world and reality because I don't know. We live vicariously through art, but I feel like just being like living your whole life in America is extremely like a bubble type of perspective. So I just really want to broaden that. But as far as like projects go to, I would really love to make a great feature film one day that I don't really care about awards, but I hope it makes somewhat of an impact with people, resonates with people the same way that Dope resonated with me. Yeah, that I think that right there, because being a 15-year-old, just enjoying art, not feeling confident in oneself, and all of the same stuff that the main character was going through that I saw in Dope, it was just like, wow, this is me. Like somebody wrote a character that I thought was only exclusive to what I was thinking. Like all these issues that was going through my head, all these concerns, I thought this was a unique experience. So to see that visualized, that was amazing to me. Like representation, like it's a conversation talked a lot about recently, but it is really important because you get acknowledged in in a landscape where like you only deem it as fiction. Because it's a movie or a show or whatever. So when you see yourself in there, it's like, oh wow, like this is real. So yeah, I hope I make something one day that resonates with a lot of people, and I'm able to one day buy my mother a house, because we have not ever really been able to live on our own ever since moving like to Maryland. So do that, film, and just rule of threes. I gotta have a third thing. Oh, and make a really dope album one day. Like really catchy, sounds great, somewhat conceptual. So yeah, those are my 3 statements of intent.
There we go. All right, you got anything else before we get on out of here?
Yeah, I guess like I said before, just try to find the good in your life, no matter like where your situation is right now. If you have a roof over your head, if you're breathing, if you have access to food and water, that's one good thing those are several good things to add to the list of other possible good things that's in your life right now. You just gotta change the perspective of how you're looking at it. Yes.
All right, there we go. Cameron, you got anything else before we get on out of here?
No, but it was great having you on, man. You had a lot of great stuff to say, and I feel like this will be really great for people that are interested in listening.
Yeah. And this was I don't know about you, Cameron, but this was certainly, in terms of time, it flew by. Like I looked at the recording timer and I was like, oh shit, we're close to an hour. My God.
Yeah. When it was Kaya, I was like, oh damn, this is the minimum of what he said already, and it did not feel like that at all.
Yeah. So you know what? That's just a sign that we were having a great time and having great conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So Kaya, please, for the listeners, what is your Instagram?
Oh my God, yep. My Instagram is one word, scrap fiction. Please hit me up for any video or music video work inquiries that you guys have. I'm very, very open to working with any and all types of artists. And not even artists, just creatives in general who want work You
got anything else to plug before we depart?
Oh, yeah. I just started a food blog with my friend, Hanan. So the blog is called Eating with Chai and Kai. And yeah, we're going to post food reviews there and go to different places. It should be a lot of fun.
It was crazy because somebody who I went to high school with my senior year, he knows her. And so when I followed the page, I was like, wait, what? Abdullah knows who? What? Huh? And it just reminds me of how small New York is.
Yeah, very small world, man. For real. But yeah, scrap fiction, Eating with Chai and Kai. Watch me make videos and watch me eat stuff.
Hell yeah. That's what we're all about. What are you gonna say?
I said, what more could you really ask for?
Right? Exactly. Fast. The New York City dream. Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening to this edition of Skype Stoop Sessions. It was absolutely fantastic having you on. Kaya, thank you for joining us. I hope in the future that, maybe Plan C starts to dabble in some video stuff and we hit up our good friend Kaya.
True.
Yeah. If you're not following already, make sure you follow, subscribe, rate, and review us. We have like 4.5 stars on Apple. So shout out all y'all who have been rating. Make sure you follow the Instagram, the Twitter at plan_C_podcast. Those have been more active recently. And just personally, check out La Tonique Media, little media company I personally started working out. So gotta put the plug in there, putting out 2 sports stories a week. So, read for your boy. Cameron, you got anything else?
I will be selling stickers starting probably tomorrow. So it'll start. So yeah, I don't know. This will be out probably a week from then, so they'll probably all be gone. But hopefully people buy them, and I'll be able to make more, and I'll be able to make some T-shirts and stuff too.
There you go. You heard it here first, people. Thank you again to Kaya. Thank you again to Cameron. Both of y'all, fantastic job. Appreciate both of you. And again, check out Kaya's page. Check out our page. Selfishly, check out my articles, because trying to make a living out here. We appreciate you. Hope you're having a fantastic evening, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace out, guys.